going on? Why do I feel so amazing when I'm through hiking, even though it's so hard? There's a lot of suffering, there's a lot of struggle, and yet you feel so alive, you feel so much your real self, authentically you. You're making friends so much more easily. Your mind, your body, you just feel alive to a degree that I haven't experienced at other moments, other times. And it's not just about improving poor mental health, but it's about thriving. It's about feeling amazing. It's about reconnecting with your younger self, your childlike self. Why does my trail self feel the closest to my real self? Before my PCT hike, I was really thinking that my trail experience would be about having the right equipment, overcoming the physical challenge, making the distance, being tough enough. But I didn't expect that it would be dominated by the social experience, the people that I met, the amazing friends that I made that are going to last a lifetime. That was what really became the special, lasting memory of the trail.
It wasn't until I started meeting people that I really started enjoying everything about the trail that I had hoped I could enjoy. And that's when I realized the best part of the trail too was all the other people that I was hiking with and being able to share those experiences.
And there's absolutely no judgment out here. It doesn't matter if, it just doesn't matter who you are, what you're doing, what your name is, what your profession is. Nobody cares. Everybody's got the same goal. Just get up and walk.
But the overall experience, I think, is amazing. And coming back to town and meeting friends and, sitting in a restaurant with a group of people that have become your family for the last couple of weeks, you have connections that over back in my regular life, these relationships take time, and it takes time to connect to people. And on the trail, it's so intensive that it's like a time machine. It's so fast, and everything happens so fast.
I guess it's a equalizer when you're out there. No one cares what you do, nothing like in normal society. You're there together, and you're there to help each other, support each other, inspire each other, all the good stuff. And there's no pretense. Everyone is just real.
Yeah, I think I've learned not to be surprised about people. I think because no matter who you pass in a day, everyone has such an amazing story or background.
Met some of the greatest people ever, and the young kids, they don't even care that we're old. I mean, we can't keep up with them, but we'll see them like later on in the day or whatever, and everybody's just like a big family. Usually I'm the one saying, yeah, I've just turned 63. Nobody says, oh, how old are you? So yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm less judging people, and I feel people are less judging me. We are all in the same situation, so there's nothing like to judge.
The shared activity, we're all doing the same thing. We all hurt just as much on that last hill. So if somebody's hurting more and you have a way that you could help them out, I think we all bond over that kind of thing.
In terms of connecting with people, it's super easy because people are really approachable and really generous with their time and their energy. So yeah, definitely way easier than back home in normal life.
Out here, I'll engage anybody I cross paths with, no matter age, gender, race, whatever. I'm happy to see folks, and I feel like it's reciprocated. I feel like we're all kind of excited to hear each other's stories and talk. In city life, I'm much more guarded, much more anxious about how that will be responded to. How people will react to that, and self-conscious about it too. And I think that's too bad. I'm way more outgoing and social on the trail. Yeah. and it's fun. It's pretty fun.
Here, as soon as you meet somebody, you can feel immediately like they're family, because everybody, you have more in common with the person that's walking beside you or behind you or passing you, than anybody you could ever meet anywhere else that I've found. Yeah. Here it's like almost an immediate connection to everybody that you talk to.
One of the big questions is the hardship, and how can something that's so difficult be so good? You have to go through some real suffering. And that was one of the things I really realized on trail, that the reason you sign up for something like that is because it's meaningful, and it's meaningful because it's hard, not because it's easy, because it's difficult to complete. So when you're on the trail and you come up against those big obstacles, the hard days, the hard climb, all the blowdowns you got to climb over, rather than being pissed off about it, you can realize that, oh, this is why I'm doing it, because it's hard to overcome. And then when you overcome those things, you feel amazing, you feel incredible, sense of achievement, and the confidence that it gives you moving forward is amazing.
They're not manufactured problems. They're real practical problems. They're difficult, and they could be dangerous, but the way that you solve them is simple and practical. The things that you can be anxious about are so much more authentic, and they're not like clouded by all the input from culture, society, social media. Again, they're they're just they're real, they're authentic, and I think I am way more well suited to handle those kind of problems than the ones that kind of get manufactured by our own kind of internal dialogue and insecurities. Um, so I much prefer these problems to city problems.
When you're hiking, you don't always feel joy. Like you can't say, like yesterday, it was such a hard day. Like I just wanted to be home yesterday. What makes us feel good about ourselves is not just being in a comfortable place, but being challenged and then overcoming it. And I think that the trail brings a lot of challenges, but when you overcome it, it feels so good. And also letting go when you're in the challenge, when you're in the problem, just being there and not like, it's not like a future problem. It's a really present problem. The rain is really present, the cold is really present. So I think for me, one of the things that makes me most happy being on the trail, just being in the moment, even if it's bad, even if it's good, not being able to think about any future thing, and just getting to know yourself in these problems, like when you're going a very hard steep uphill that is not ending in the close 3 hours. You're just there and you're just in the pain, in the heart, and there's something very like, I don't know, of course you're not enjoying it, but you're just present. I don't know how to explain it, and you're not able to think of anything else. And yeah, so I think I take from that a lot to like life, that in sometimes like you are in difficult situation and you just have to continue. Like there's nothing you can do, just continue, put your head down and keep going.
If I started getting negative, my body's hurting, I'm hungry, I'm tired, and I can sense the negative thoughts starting to show up, I would try to hack it and be like, don't do that, stop it, and then turn it into a gratitude frame of mind, like how lucky at 73 out doing this, and the stars at night and this and that, and it would pull me out of it.
But mentally, it's definitely been harder than what I expected. There have been moments where I thought this is just too hard. Every day is different, every hour is different. And some days you just wake up and just don't feel good about anything. And I've definitely had some of those days. It's funny how the day can kind of like unravel, and then you have these like really awesome parts of the day, and then you go, oh, everything's actually fine. So super 360s like how you're thinking, because you go to a place and then you come back out really quickly, which I think again is like a really good reminder of how healing and I guess nurturing like outside can be. But I actually feel like the harder days initially, which is what I experienced, really built me up to how I feel now. And I definitely feel more resilient and more prepared. And now I feel like I have the tools of me experiencing lots of emotions to deal with those emotions now moving forward. Yeah, the trail really humbles you sometimes. But then also reminds you that there's beauty in even the hardest of days.
The first night was like a rough camp after dark, setting up after dark, and yeah, it was just really rough. I will say I cried a few times, and yeah, being 18, like on the other side of the world, I didn't really expect quite how hard it was to jump straight from like living with my family in society to just, I'm on the other side of the world, like nothing's familiar, the plants, animals, nothing. A guy called, I think it was Eric, came, and he was doing trail magic. And so I just sat under this big tree, this big oak tree, had like lots of food, lots of drinks, just talked to him for, I think it was 4 hours, just chatting to this guy about like the last few days, just doing like an overview of everything that's happened. And after that, after I got that initial shock off my chest, I was able to kind of refocus on, okay, I'm out here for a reason. Like, I'm lucky to be out here.
Being alone and the realities of trail life being difficult really wore me out in the first 2 weeks. And it ended up being characteristic of the entire trip. But when I was at my lowest, it was the generosity of other hikers that helped bring me back and realize that I'm not alone out here, and that we can help each other have the best time. So where I was a little bit hurt, I was definitely tired, I was low on food and just sad. And I met my friend Q, and through him met more people, and then saw how much it helped them, and that then I realized that would really help me, and really got to know just some phenomenal people.
Probably like through the Sierras, especially like Forester Pass or even Kearsarge Pass. If you would have asked me, 9 months ago, would I go climb either one of those, I would have been like, are you crazy? It wouldn't have happened. And then so to finally to be there and to actually rely on my body enough to get me over something that's harder than anything I thought I would ever do. That was it's amazing where your body can take you. I don't think there's anything I can't do now. Yeah, bring it on.
On trail, I really felt like I could be much more my true self. There was no mask, there was no armor that I had to put on in the morning to engage with the world. I could be myself, and I really felt like I met my younger self back out on trail in a way that I again wasn't expecting that, and that was really, really refreshing.
I think it's easier to be your true self on trail, just because you don't have these other things around you. You just be yourself, and also it's so natural for us to be outside, and you just become yourself. You become essence of human being, I think.
I certainly feel more confident and comfortable on trail, and I like to think that that's the real me. I feel more at home, and less out of place, and less concerned with that too. The more time I spend on trail, the more I see just how many different ways there are to go about living in general, and then that makes me more they're less concerned with the way I am doing it, because it's all good and we're all just out here doing the same thing and getting so much out of it. So yeah, I like to think that that's more my authentic self. It's way more enjoyable.
This has definitely been a situation where you can't really pretend. There's no mask you can kind of hide behind, because yeah, it's not really possible out here. So I definitely feel that, just in terms of like just waking up and showing up as you are, because that's all you've got to do out here. So it definitely feels more authentic to who you are. And I do think people can really see that as well. And I think I can see the genuineness in other people as well.
And there's something very accepting on the trail. Like, I feel that I am who I am, and people just enjoy being around me, and like that, and I feel confidence about that. Like, I'm not overthinking like what I said, was that fine. Like, the human relationship, I feel is much easier for me here.
I mean, even the way our society is with consumerism and all that, you know, and the way, especially women, we're supposed to look a certain way, makeup and clothes and hair, and that's gone. You're out there. That it's yeah, that's gone. So you just be yourself, and you smell bad. I mean, but you know, you just like, okay, whatever, that's me. So I like that part of it.
Another big surprise for me on the trail was just the way that I felt connected to nature. It took quite a long time, probably months, but eventually you really feel completely part of the natural environment. You feel at one with the trees, the animals, and then you slowly begin to understand that actually here's what we were evolved to do. And it's only the last 200 years that we haven't been living completely in this way of moving through nature and living in nature.
My relationship to nature, spending so long out on trail, has kind of made being on the trail feel like home. I think that's kind of obvious, but there's definitely a deeper connection there. I think every day I spend in nature kind of gives me more clarity on why I'm out in nature, and I think that's a beautiful thing to chase.
It makes me feel that there is so much stronger powers than me. Like, I don't have control over so many things, and like trying back at home, like you try to control everything you eat, everything like you do all the time to control. You want everything to be perfect, and when you're here, like no matter what you do, you can't control the thunderstorm that we got stuck in. You can't. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing. Wherever it catches you, that's where you are. And I think it changes the way that like I see nature. Like I have more respect to nature.
You're getting much more comfortable just being in nature, being part of it, or just going through it. And yeah, we might walk the trail, but the trail walks inside us too, because everything is going on inside us, the mental inner world.
Like, once I went into these wilder places, it was like a completely different realm. I felt like it was like a magical, different planet, basically, when I was out there, like, by myself.
Oh, it's everything. It's so healing. It's solid. It's basic. No baloney. Um, it's the most real thing ever, and it just makes you see the harmony in life, and you see the rotting trees, and you know you're getting older, but then you see the new sprouts coming out of the rotting trees, and life goes on, and it just brings impermanence right front and center, and it's cool.
Just the magnitude, you know, of where we are and what we've got around us and how it's not been destroyed by anything. and it just, it just wonders. It just all, around every corner there's a new wonder. You never know what to expect.
There's so many lessons to be learned on the trail, and the trail is a great teacher. Every day there's something to learn if you're paying attention.
I think the big lesson for me was that, contrary to being jaded about humanity through retail work and just news and social media and everything, is that the majority of people are so kind and so generous and so willing to help. Definitely, restore my faith in humanity.
People are good. I mean, when you're out there, the trail angels, your buddies, your hiking buddies, everyone you meet, people in town, they're just good people. And I don't care left, right, all, doesn't matter, religion, nothing. I found that it was overwhelming, the connection that I felt. I felt connected to nature and to other people in an authentic way that is really hard to find these days.
And I think going back to nature, going back to these wild places where you're only worried about where you're going to sleep, what you're going to eat, what you're going to drink, it really kind of, for me, and I think for most people on trail, it's kind of removed all that stress that's started to grow in me, which I don't think you really need to live with.
So you start and you have a few rough days, and then all of a sudden your body just adapts like you do it for all of your life, and it's just amazing feeling of change and release.
My appreciation of what my body can do, because you really test your body physically every single day. And if it's not your feet hurting, it's your knees. If it's not your knees, it's your hip. If it's not your hip, it's your shoulder. So really appreciating and maybe nurturing my body a little bit more outside of the trail will be something I'm really passionate about. And also my background as being a physio, just really appreciating physically what we can do.
I think that your mental health is going to change as your physical health changes. And when you get out here and you start doing the things that you didn't think that you could do before, that's a huge boost to what's going on inside. And then like physically, I think is like for me, lost quite a bit of weight doing it. And that helps my mental health as well. The better you feel, the better you can, the clearer that you can be.
And it's given me confidence is one thing. I feel a lot more confident. Just knowing that you're like able to survive 80 days out in the middle of nowhere on the other side of the world, it's a real confidence booster.
If you can let go of the resistance, that's a thing where you see a mountain, or you see a day and you're just like, oh, it's cold and rainy, and you're just like, you feel that resistance. Let it go. Accept everything and no expectations. Wide open heart and wide open mind. And every day is an adventure. There is no way you can plan how your day is going to go. There's no way. Just be accepting of everything. No resistance. Wide open.
Get to know yourself in the hard times, like not to be afraid of yourself when you're not feeling good. Like, it's fine, that's part of life. You can't be happy without being sad. You can't enjoy without feeling without suffer. So understand that life, like the highs and the lows, they come together. I think making changes, it takes time, and you have to commit to it, and you have to really look closely into your life and see what the changes you want to make. And I think the trail, first of all, gives you opportunities to feel happiness, to see what gives you joy, and also to think thoroughly on your life. And like I said, untie plots that you have in your life, or solve problems that keep going in your head.
When you're hiking these long trails, you live every day. It's like a lifetime of highs and lows, mentally, physically. And when you live on this emotional and physical roller coaster, you kind of learn how to deal with it also outside. And it really is the best place plan ahead or get some energy for starting a new chapter in your life.
Don't expect it to fix you. Like, it will help in one way or another, but you can't, it's not a magic pill. There's still plenty of work you have to do. But what it does, it sets you up to do that kind of work. And kind of like any sort of practice, it sticks with you for a while after the fact. So you can kind of take whatever lessons you learn and enjoy your back home, your city life with those lessons until you forget, and then you have to go back on the Thru hike.
It's a special place for me, and it's a unique cocktail of beauty and challenge and deep social connection, really strong friendships forged through intense experience, and I miss that when I'm back in normal town life, and I can't wait till I get back out on my next adventure.
It was enjoyable for like the objective reasons, because it was beautiful, because I was moving and camping in the outdoors. But once you start to share that, and once you start to go beyond that and talk about things that are not trail related with people, and spend so much time with them in these environments, the bonds are amazing, and they transcend, regular like social cliques, of like age and gender and stuff like that. And it's incredible how well you can get to know people, and how strong those relationships stay. I couldn't do it alone, and I mean I feel like I'm a pretty capable and strong guy, but like, not only could I not do it, but I wouldn't want to do it alone, because the trail family and the friends out here are at least as important as the hike itself. There were plenty of times where we had said we could end the hike right now and be completely happy, because finishing is not as important as those kind of relationships.
I think it's a huge benefit for your mental health and your physical health. But I think everyone should get out there, and it doesn't matter like how far you go, how many miles you do a day. Just get out there and just immerse yourself in just the whole nature of it.
If you're considering going on a Thru hike, you absolutely should, and not many people will understand the feeling of completing a Thru hike. This is the most amazing thing.
Just if you're thinking about it, do it. Don't stop. And that's something too. Like, we met a guy who was climbing Kearsarge, who had a stroke, and I mean, it was literally everybody says one step at a time. It was, that's exactly what it was for him completely. I've met people that have had, we met one guy that had 3 open heart surgeries. He's out here doing it. I mean, it's just amazing how it can change.
I mean, this trail is a teacher. It's like being in a classroom with all the fellow students. And yeah, just do it. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Right now, I'm like, where's the next adventure? I'm doing it, and no limits, man. And I'm could be a little overzealous, but I'm excited to start new adventures. The rest of my life, I don't know how long I have, but it's going to be one continuous adventure after another, no matter what.